Hello, everybody. This is Braden on day 3 of his passion project. This is Braden, though, talking. Today, I have sadly forgotten to read the news again. But a notable thing I would like to mention is the downfall of the Conservative Party of Canada. Also, I will probably be getting into the Altno movement going on between Le Bloc Québécois and the Conservative Party once again. Okay. So we're gonna start our agenda with the Conservative Party of Canada and what has happened to them. We know, everyone knows, I should believe, Conservatives are polling at a massive majority when Trudeau was in government at the New Year's. It's kind of sad. But then Mark Carney came in, blew up the Conservative Party, is what I'd like to say, while blowing up his party at the same time, because the Conservative Party dropped down to the point where the Liberals, who were facing to be the opposition party with the Quebec Bloc Québécois and the New Democrats, shot all the way up to potentially a supermajority, which is very important if you have a supermajority. So, what happened? Short answer, Poilievre. There's a long answer, so I will have to say it. Poilievre is a somewhat okay politician with his policies. The only thing is, he's a populist, so all he wants to go for are the popular policies, deport the illegals, build a wall. Trumpism, basically, but reshaped to become Canadian Conservatives' perspective. While also, I'd like to say, supporting Trump and vice versa. Of course, Trump, quote-unquote, endorsed Mark Carney, but that's only because Trump knew he had a bad reputation in Canada, so he wanted to use that to his advantage to have Pierre Poilievre in government. And how Mark Carney could very well align with my beliefs. They are both businessmen. No, but I think both men were a bad decision. I don't know about Jagmeet Singh. I do identify with the New Democrat Party. Throw coffees at me. I don't care. Whew. But Pierre Poilievre was brought into the downfall because of the big DJT down in the south. I'm actually starting to look forward to these walks more and more every day to express my opinions, and tomorrow's Friday, which means whatever I want day. I have specifically chose to talk about politics and laws on pretty much every other day, except for maybe Friday, sometimes Saturday or Sunday. But anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about Altno movement. If you ever heard, there is a plan to put in a train that goes from Toronto to Montreal, I'm pretty sure, within an hour, I think it was, or an hour and a half, but very fast, faster than Barrie to Toronto Union Station on the GO train. And that's only like 150 kilometers apart. 2 hours by drive. But the Alto looks forward to bring towards Canadian communities. The only thing is that the Altno community is demanding full transparency of this train system. Also, the fact that it costs, I think it was $90 billion with a B, is what I heard this morning watching the news. I didn't fully read the news, I just heard Not very good listener, I guess. But I am a good reader. I'd like to point that out. So, the Alto, what do I think about it? Mixed opinions. Of course, it'll help Canadians connect a lot better. But $90 billion for a train running from Toronto to Montreal, which already you have on Via Rail, just high speed with the Alto? Maybe it's a good idea. Probably not. Once again, mixed opinions. But I do know it's going to pass with a bill. Bills have also been getting crazy. Talking about Bill C-34 again. Hate that. But I'm not so confidently sure in my opinion that the majority of Canadians are in favor of the Alto. If I were to choose, have a vote on it, I wouldn't vote. I know my voice matters, so I would 100% vote in everything else. But the Alto seems pricey. It all seems good for people who want to get to Montreal or Toronto. And for French speakers, comme moi. I think that's how it is in French. Whew. But the Alto could or could not be a bad idea. I'd like to have everyone watching this to have their own opinions on things that they want to have. Same with politics. You don't need to fully listen to this, agree with everything I'm saying. But let's go back to the Conservatives. The Conservatives are the biggest federal party, not in favor of the Alto. Yep. No surprise, because it is a Liberal-ran project. Liberals hate Conservatives and vice versa. So, what next for the Alto? Probably going to get done by 2029 if we keep in the polling numbers, because the Liberals currently do keep a majority inside Parliament right now, and polling says they do too. Now, this could be concerning for people who don't want the Liberals in, like me and every Conservative and a couple Liberals. We don't know. But people are going by the motto, they're better than Pierre Poilievre, and we only have basically two parties. We can influence it to three. We can influence it a lot more. The voting system is rigged right now. We had the NDP rise up to our official opposition with Jack Layton. Why can't we do that again with Avi Lewis? We should have. Why is Jack Layton dead? They took my boy. Loved that man. Still do. Who doesn't? A bunch of people. Still, Jack Layton is my idol. I'd like to say. I want to grow a mustache like his. Look at that beautiful stash. Sorry, went a little off track anywhere. Talking about tracks, let's go back to the Alto track. It's going to include Ottawa and Peterborough, is what I'm seeing. Why Peterborough? Why do we want to include Peterborough on the Alto? Sure, it's a big city, but it's not the biggest. Maybe we should focus on improving regional transit, like the GO train, to include communities like Orillia, Peterborough, Windsor, Sarnia, London, and maybe Via Rail could incorporate GO into a lot more of their policies. We already have a Via Rail station up in Washago, which is close to Orillia. Why don't we just have a GO train station in Orillia? Or Via Rail? Or where Via Rail is, Which makes a lot more sense for everyday travelers like I, who just want to travel the country, maybe go down to Markham one day, buy some merch of my favorite activities. So, because I have seen the end of Beautiful, Beautiful Walk, I'll start wrapping it up. Details about tomorrow. Tomorrow will be quote unquote Genshin Honkai Star Rail Roblox Day, where I just talk rapid fire about my personal interests other than politics and law. Like, oh, what are my theories that's gonna happen in Honkai Star Rail? And ooh, what do I think's gonna happen in Shneznaya and Genshin Impact? Who knows? Love those two games. Best way to make friends, once again. But because my walk has wrapped up, I would like to say one thing. That would be toodaloo, ta-ta. And this is day 3.